So your aquarium is really beautiful. When I was here as a kid, it wasn't here, and I was really surprised to find it this time.
Yeah, we opened up in about 1998, so we haven't been around for too long.
Yeah.
When you were here before, why'd you come?
Well, my dad used to bring us to the Silver Salmon Derby, and I had
Ah.
such good memories of catching fish that I thought my husband and kids might enjoy coming and doing that with me.
That's fantastic. Yeah, the Derby's going on for many years now. I think almost 80 years.
Wow.
So, we're really happy to see the fish in the bay, and we're working kind of with our community and our family here, scientists and fishermen, to kind of make sure that we're responsibly managing the fishery so that it's around for a lot more years to come.
Well, that would be great. Well, and we will definitely come to the aquarium next year as well.
Oh, fantastic. We'd love to have you.
Oh, good.
So one of the things we've been noticing is that the salmon actually appear to be getting smaller out here in the bay.
Well, that's too bad. We were hoping to get a trophy this year.
Yeah, that's why people come here for the Derby, and we're trying to figure out why it's happening, and it seems to be associated with food availability. Salmon out here really like to eat something called a pteropod. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't.
Yeah, so a pteropod, it's a snail essentially. Most snails we know of crawl around on the land. A pteropod swims around in the ocean. They're like the potato chips of the sea.
Yeah.
And salmon love them. It's, you can't eat just one.
Nope.
And potato chips, at least they make us fat. They make the salmon fat too. The pteropod potato chips do. And so fewer pteropods would mean less fat salmon, smaller salmon. You're not going to get that trophy fish. We're seeing that the pteropods are impacted by ocean acidification. Have you heard about that before?
I've heard of it, but I don't really understand it.
So can I explain a little bit?
Please.
Yeah, so it's related to actually the air and what's happening up here in the atmosphere. As we burn coal and oil and natural gas, CO2, carbon dioxide, is created as a waste product. And when it goes up in the air, any place the air touches the ocean, they exchange gases. So that CO2 gets pushed into the ocean, and that's what increases the acidity. So that's what ocean acidification is. We're familiar with acidity when it comes to taste. We taste acid as sour. Something sour that a lot of people like is lemonade. Do you like your lemonade sweet or sour?
A little sweet.
A little sweet, yeah. We tend to like things a little on the sweeter side. Kind of the more acidic it gets, the sourer it gets,
Absolutely.
and it's not as enjoyable.
Right.
So you can think like a ocean that's getting sour. Imagine you're that little pteropod that's trying to survive, and it impacts their ability to grow their shells, actually.
Okay.
So we really are hoping that by kind of managing what's going on with the carbon dioxide, we'll be able to keep a handle on that acidification, because the acidification means smaller pteropods. Smaller pteropods, fewer pteropods means less food for salmon, smaller salmon.
So I understand that you're saying the salmon are getting smaller because the food that they eat, those little...
The pteropods?
The pteropods, they're being impacted by ocean acidification, but what is it that we can do about that?
Yeah, so the rate of ocean acidification is driven by the CO2, the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So any place we can cut back on emissions will really help out the situation. Here in Alaska, everybody's really community minded. We've got the long winters, and we have to all help each other get through that time. We really like to focus around schools in a lot of communities, and some communities are really trying to bring those schools to renewable energies. When we burn fuel oil and gasoline on generators and things to create that heat that we need, that's what's creating the CO2 emissions. So if we can create it another way with solar panels or wind turbines, really whatever resource is abundant in your area, taking advantage of that and making energy that's free of carbon dioxide, those are the sorts of things that will really help our ocean waters and also the salmon that live in them.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll have to look into that when we get home.